Hell is often explained and portrayed as a place of everlasting suffering, an afterlife location where souls go to suffer and be tortured, a place where they can never escape once they're there. The ruler of this realm is often depicted as Satan or the devil. On the other hand, heaven is said to be a place of pure love, light, and joy where suffering does not exist. The ruler of heaven is God, the one and only Creator. Before I begin explaining myself, I want to say that I respect all religions and walks of life. This video is not intended to offend anyone. I used to be a religious person myself, but since my awakening, my opinion and eyes have opened to something new. So try to see where I'm coming from. With that being said, I want to discuss hell and heaven as well as God and the devil from a different perspective. What if these stories weren't meant to be taken literally? I personally believe that the Bible and religion in general have been portrayed and taught the wrong way. Every religion is talking about you when they speak of God, and that evil force they speak of is the ego. Let's break this down. God or consciousness is the creator, the observer of everything, and so are we. You see, there's only one consciousness, and it has no form. You cannot locate consciousness no matter how hard you search for it. These bodies, these vessels that we can control, are just a way for consciousness to express itself. Notice how your body is created within consciousness, not the other way around. These are just objects that we are aware of. Can you agree with me that you are aware of your body? Notice the difference in saying I am the body and I am aware of the body. There is a very different sense to both of those statements, and you cannot be what you are aware of because you are the awareness of it. No experience or object can be you because you are the awareness of it. Now, if you were to directly connect with your consciousness by becoming aware of your awareness, or should I say awakening to who you are, you will begin to notice that the one who is aware isn't affected by any experience that may be present, regardless of whether it's your thoughts or feelings or a life situation. The one who is aware is simply just aware and at peace. It's present, it's not suffering, it's accepting, and it's always been here in the background. It's limitless and boundless, and it's the place where suffering cannot exist. It's God's presence. It's your true being. All these teachings that tell you to follow God and trust God are supposed to point you to awakening to realizing that this God is you. God isn't outside of you. It's we all truly are. We share the exact same being as God because there's only one being. You and I are the same. You are the birds and bees. You are the trees and nature. You are the ants and bugs that fly around. You are this God, and people will say, well, if I was God, why can't I do this and do that? We are gods having a human body experience, the same way dogs are God having a dog experience. Yes, you are your dogs, you are everything. This is difficult for people to accept because of what we have all been taught, and I completely understand and respect that. But I will try my best to get you to see where I am coming from. Now I will get back to how we are God. But let's move on to how the devil is just the ego. Remember how I said that once you can just be present and become aware of who you truly are, you will see that suffering doesn't exist there. Suffering doesn't exist where God exists because the ego cannot exist there. Thoughts cannot exist or damage you in the present moment. If you are thinking, you are not fully present. The ego doesn't exist there. Suffering can only exist within the mind through thoughts. If you are suffering, it is because of your ego. It is because of the devil. Hell is just a state of mind, and once you're trapped in it, your life will feel like hell. I know you've heard that one before. The ego is the one that tells you that you are not enough, that you aren't worthy. It's what makes you worry and have anxiety. It's where regret and depression exists. It's where fear exists. The very thing telling you that this video is BS and has no truth to it is the ego. The devil doesn't want you to realize who you truly are, because once you awaken, it will no longer have control over your life. Now, Jesus was a very well-known being who was part of religion, but he wasn't a religious person. He didn't believe that he was separate from God. He knew that he was God. The Bible referred to him as God's son. He went around trying to tell others that he and they were God, and people hated him and betrayed him for speaking this way. And no matter what others said, he knew this to be true because he was awakened to his true being. He was conscious of his consciousness, while everyone around him was unconscious. You see, there is no difference between you and Jesus, because we are all one. There is only one being, and it's God's being, and it's who we truly are. You are everyone who has ever lived and died, and you will be everyone who is yet to be born. I'll give you an example of how sure Jesus was of this knowing. The story of him being nailed to the cross is traumatic, but even though those people did that to him, he loved them still. He asked God to forgive them. He forgave them because he knew that they were unconscious, and their behavior and actions came from the ego, from the devil, from the unconscious state. Do you think if those people were awakened and conscious of who they truly are, they would have still done what they have done? Of course not. The same behavior still takes place in today's society. If you walked around telling everyone that we are all God and we are all connected, they will look at you like you're crazy, but it's only because they are unconscious for this truth, and because they are still slaves to the ego mind. We can all experience heaven on earth. Hell and heaven may be realms in the afterlife, but they also exist here. If you are trapped inside the mind, you will suffer in hell. If you are present and free from the mind and all the false identifications, you will experience heaven. Heaven is explained to be a place of peace and love. Well, once you awaken to who you truly are, you will notice that you have been. This peace and love you have been seeking for your whole life all along. You are the whole. The essence of who you are is who God is. You are the source. You are the universe. You are what lies behind all understanding. God is the creator, and so are you. Just picture how the world would be today if everyone was awakened to this. The world would be at peace, and love would flow through the air. Now, I don't know everything, so there may be some holes in this teaching, but I hope that you were able to see what I was trying to say. My intentions are pure and positive with every teaching. So I hope this was able to at least strike some curiosity in you. Feel free to comment your opinions. I would love to read them and see your perspective. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with. If you want to experience that state of heaven, meditation, whether by standard practice or just being alone with nature, will tremendously help. Self-inquiry will help you realize your true nature and that you are God. Non-duality will eventually prove to you that we are all one and that we are all connected. Is it not written in your law? I said you are God's. Jesus